Okay, so how many eggs?
3.
And you just use the egg yolks?
Yeah, you put the whites in this bowl. That's your topping.
Okay.
The egg whites, you know, is the meringue that goes on top.
Okay.
You put you separate them and put that.
Okay.
The whites in this bowl, and then the yolks goes in the filling.
Okay. So 3 eggs.
People use 4, but I'm good with 3 because some people, you know, like the palm ring up this high.
Okay.
So I like 3. 3 works for me.
Okay, we're getting the white gunk out of the egg whites, which doesn't matter, but I'm trying to get this exactly like we did it. See this nasty white gunk we're getting out of the bowl.
Over here in the yolks.
And we're getting the white gunk out of the yolks. Let me see what it looks like when you get that spoon out so I can tell what I'm supposed to be getting out.
That crap that looks like that.
Okay, so just that slimy looking white stuff. Okay,
yeah,
we get that out of the yolks and out of the... Okay. Okay, so we're squishing up a little bit. See, look, squishy egg yolks. Okay.
I have these little green cups. They may not be a full cup or whatever,
Okay.
but I'm just saying, you know, kind of a couple of cups of sugar. And that second one, I don't feel real full.
Okay.
Just a
So I have to have those green
one.
cups or I can never cook a chocolate pie ever.
You just use a regular
Measuring cup. So
cup.
a full one and then about 3/4 of one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I add a little sprinkle of salt.
Okay. A sprinkle of salt. We're pulling stuff out of the cabinet.
Okay. I put in 4 heaped up tablespoons of flour.
Okay, so 4 heaping tablespoons of flour. Let me see how heaped up those are before you dump that next
They're
one.
really heaped up.
Okay, really heaped up. Okay. So 4 of those of flour.
And then I put
Hershey's cocoa. How much of this do we use?
We use 2 heaping tablespoons of cocoa.
Okay, so 2 heaping tablespoons of cocoa.
Really heaped up.
Okay. 4 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Okay.
And you just stir that up.
So we got egg yolks, sugar, flour, and cocoa, and a little sprinkling of salt.
I add just a little bit of milk so that you can really beat this up really
Splash of
good.
milk.
And just do that because then you can really beat this up and get it a little bit smooth. And get it really mixed good.
looks like. Okay, so that looks like it's pretty smooth. It's still got a few little lumps in it, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, just the same kind of cup, and then I put 2 cups of milk.
Okay, so 2 cups of milk.
Just a tad. I'm a tad more cook. Just a
Okay.
tad more. Maybe 1/4 of a cup more.
Okay, so about 2 1/4 cups of milk.
Make sure you know if you're making a big pie like that's a pretty big pie pan over there.
Yeah, we're gonna go over here and look at the pie pan that we're filling up. Look, this is the pie crust, which I will, I'm sure, be using store-bought because I'm not good enough to make homemade. So now we're gonna mix all that around again. And we're gonna put it on the stove.
And start to cook.
Now, how high does the heat need to be?
You can about medium.
About medium high.
Yeah, so you can be sure on that.
Okay, this is what it looks like on the gas stove. It's about medium. I'll have to figure out how to convert it to an electric stove. Okay, now we got butter. How much butter do we use? I guess technically this is this actually butter or is this margarine?
Margarine.
This is actually the stick margarine.
Yeah, be sure that that's good. You don't have to do this if you know you got fresh butter.
Okay.
I put about a 4 tablespoons.
So about 2 tablespoons
Yeah.
of butter.
Mm-hmm.
And we just throw that in our smoking pot and stir it around.
Yeah.
Okay, if we look at it now, it looks like chocolate milk with a big chunk of butter floating in it.
This cocoa doesn't, it tasted chocolatey to me, but it don't seem to get as dark as the chocolate used to be. I might should start adding a little more. But it tastes chocolatey.
Well, I don't care how dark it is,
The
as long as it
pies
tastes
still
good.
Taste chocolatey.
Yeah, they still
don't
taste the same, so I don't care what it looks like, as long as it tastes good. Okay, we're gonna pause for a minute. Okay, now we've been stirring for quite a while. Would you say maybe about 5 minutes?
Yeah,
And it's starting, it's starting to get thick. So we want to just keep stirring it until it gets.
Kind of pick up your stirring a little bit when it starts.
Okay, when it starts thickening, we have to stir it faster. So we've been stirring it fairly constantly. Now we're stirring fast. And how do we know when it's thick enough? You just do?
Yeah.
Do you want it about the consistency of pudding?
Yeah.
Okay, so when it starts like looking like chocolate pudding, we can quit stirring.
Because then it always, when it cools, it thickens up more. I like mine really thick.
Okay, so it's starting to bubble a little bit, so okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like when it's done. It basically looks like chocolate pudding.
Then you'll know the feel of it.
Okay, I'm going to stir it and see how it feels. Is the spoon
It may
hot?
be too hot for you. It's not for me.
Okay, look, I am stirring. Okay, it does. It feels just basically like chocolate pudding, maybe just a little bit thicker than what chocolate pudding feels like.
It's basically chocolate pudding. That's
Okay.
basically what it is.
Okay, so I know what it feels like now. It really is. It feels just a tiny bit thicker than chocolate pudding. And it was just starting to bubble when we took it off, so now we're going to pour it in our pie shell.
Oh no. Oh Lord, I goofed.
What'd you do?
I didn't put the vanilla.
Right, we forgot to put vanilla in it, so we're going to put vanilla in it now.
Lord. I don't know how I'm going to do that now.
Okay, so we were supposed to put vanilla in it, but it's my fault because I've got her all distracted with this camera up in her face. So how much vanilla are we supposed to put in it?
Well, I just use this imitation, and I just do like 2 capfuls. I don't measure it. I just measure it by the capfuls.
Okay, so we use just 2 capfuls of vanilla, and we're supposed to put that in after we finish stirring it, and then
before the pie shell.
Before we put it in the pie shell. Okay, so we're going to try and do this, and I'm sure it will turn out okay, because it always does, so. Okay, so we just do 2 full capfuls, and we're supposed to do this before we put it in the pie, but it's my fault because I had the camera stuck up in her face, and I've got her all distracted, so I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, so we're just going to stir it in the pie shell. Nobody will be able to ever know the difference, I'm sure. And I don't care because I'll eat it anyway. Okay, so now we're putting it in the pie shell. And so ideally you want it to have just a little bit of crust still showing.
Crust, if it goes outside your crust and it gets out into a bowl and gets all yucky.
Okay, well, we don't want that to happen, so.
Okay.
I'm sure I won't be using a homemade crust. I'm sure I'll be using. So you say this is about how big do you think this pie crust is? How big when they sell them in the store? How big are they?
I don't even
Like 9-inch?
Like something like that.
Okay, and then that's what we got right there. Okay, now we're getting ready to make the meringue to put on top of the pie.
First, you have to hunt for
At first, we have to knock everything in the floor, hunting for whatever we're looking for, though. We're looking for the beaters.
the beaters. You have to hunt 10 minutes to find the beaters.
Okay, so I have to add all that time in. I'll probably have to hunt longer than that since I don't ever use them. We're knocking things off in the floor, so.
Another 5 minutes to pick up what you knocked in the floor.
Okay, well, you know, it's Christmas, so. Okay, so we're putting the beaters on. This is the egg whites that we had from a while ago in our bowl, so we're just going to beat them a little bit here.
We don't like stepchildren.
Disclaimer, we don't really beat stepchildren in this family. I don't want anybody to sue us and think that we actually do that. We don't actually beat children in this family. Okay, so what are we looking for? What do they need to be like?
They just need you can lift this up and they'll be peaks
Okay,
until they get stiff.
so we're going to beat them until they're stiff. Then we get peaks. They're looking pretty frothy. Extreme close up here. I'll try not to get stuff all over the camera. So you got that mixer on pretty high.
Yeah.
Now see, if I was doing this, they'd be flying out of the bowl by now.
You have to kick the beaters down in the bowl. And you wait until they start getting a little frothy before you turn your mixer up real high, or they will come
So you do it fairly low until they start getting frothy, and then you turn it up on high.
So when they start getting like this, then you can turn it up. And I have been known to let them fly out a few times.
Well, that just adds to the fun of Christmas.
Not the end of the world.
Cleaning up the mess is half the fun.
If you're in a cleaning mood.
Okay, they are looking like basically like snow. They are really fluffy.
I'm going to check them.
Okay, now we are doing a check. Okay, look.
See how
They are not
don't
dripping
move.
off, so they don't move when you lift the beater up. That means you've beat them enough.
Yeah, and then you add some sugar.
Okay,
And beat 'em some
okay.
more.
Okay, now we're going to add the sugar. And how much sugar have we got here?
Almost a half a cup.
Not quite a half of a cup.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to just throw that in and then beat it some more. See, who needs a Swedish chef when you've got my mom? Okay, so then you pick it up and it is still not dripping, so.
I hope.
Okay, now this is what they look like. They're kind of peaky and they look kind of like snow and they're sticking to the spoon. Okay, so now we're going to put them on the pie. Okay, good. Now we have to find the pie.
Come over here.
Okay, we'll take them over to the table. And we're going to spoon this on the pie. Let me get around here where I can get a good look at how we're doing this.
Yeah, some people do this different. You know.
Well, if I'm making your pie, I want to do it the way you do it.
So. Friend's pies, and she puts all of hers kind of up in the middle, but I like to spread mine out to the edge.
Okay, so we just spread that out where it looks all pretty. Now, will not look near this pretty when I make them, but, you know, I don't care as long as it tastes good. I'm not all about pretty.
You just have to learn this stuff. Sometimes mine looks prettier than other times even.
Well, they always taste good. I don't care what they look like as long as they taste good. I'm all about the taste.
I have to say some people make fixes theirs different. This is kind of how my mama done it, so it's how I do it.
Yes, I need to mention this is my grandma's recipe.
Brother Paul, he had a fit when I took that chocolate pie to church that time.
Yes, Brother Paul liked that pie. Did he say it was as good as his mama's?
Yes, he said that tastes just like his grandma.
Just like his grandma's pie. So, man, that's the highest compliment you can get.
It was. That just made me feel so good.
Now, where did Granny get this recipe from? Do you know? Or did she just make it up on her own?
I figure she probably got it. She might have got it
from her mom?
Or probably from, I don't know. I really don't even know. You know, you can just make however you kind of want to make it.
Okay, let's see. There's our pretty, pretty pie. We'll get it all perfect here. And now it goes in the oven? For how long?
Till it gets brown.
Well, about how long is that?
Maybe 10 minutes.
Okay, so you're going to set it for 10 minutes and then check it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going in the oven. And what's the oven set on?
Oh, that's 375.
So you set it on 375, pop it in the oven, check it after 10 minutes, and we will check back in a few minutes and see how it looks. Start filming. Okay, this is the moment of truth. It's been 10 minutes. We are pulling it out of the oven. Mom is pulling it out of the oven. And is that what it's supposed to look like, I guess?
Well, I don't know. I might get it a little bit browner.
Okay, so it's going back in the oven. How long are we going to put it back in for?
A couple of minutes, maybe.
Okay, so we'll try 2 minutes and see what it looks like then. Okay, now the pie's been in there for a total of 12 minutes. And we're going to check it again and see how brown it is.
And I'm calling it quits.
And we are calling it quits, so we will see how brown. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty brown. So, and
too much.
Okay, well that may be a little too much, so we might should have done 11 minutes. So we will know next time. All right, and that is how you make a chocolate pie.